All right, welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be taking a look at this article called From Chaos to Clarity: How Task Management Tools Can Simplify Your Life.
Hmm.
And, I thought this is really perfect because you were asking about ways to
Yeah.
streamline your life. And I think this article really has some good tips. It really resonated with your request.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at, benefits of using these tools and also how to overcome that feeling of information overload.
Right.
And then we'll get into like developing good habits for long-term success with these and managing multiple to-dos. And then finally, how to stay flexible in all of this.
Mhm.
So,
I think one of the things that really struck me when I was reading this article was just how they really acknowledged right up front that feeling of just being overwhelmed,
yeah.
which I think we all
Oh, absolutely.
experience at some point or another.
Yeah.
It's that brain fog feeling where you just have like a mountain of tasks
Right.
and you don't even know where to start.
Totally been there. And the article goes beyond just acknowledging that feeling.
Right.
I think a lot of times we're just kind of like, oh, yeah, we know that feeling.
Yeah.
But it actually offers some solutions.
Yeah.
Suggesting that these task management tools can really help us cut through that mental clutter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what I think it really emphasizes is that it's not just about checking things off a list.
Right.
It's really about freeing up mental energy so you can be more present, more engaged in whatever you're doing.
Right.
Think about all the time and energy you waste just worrying about all those tasks.
Oh, yeah.
These tools can help give you that mental space back.
That's a great point because it really is like taking a deep breath and finally seeing the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I've tried using task management apps before.
Right?
And sometimes I feel like it just adds another layer of complexity.
I hear that.
Yeah.
And there are so many options out there.
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming. So I think the key is finding one that really fits your workflow and your personality. So what's your experience been like with the ones you've tried?
I've found some that are really good for simple to-do lists,
Okay.
but I struggle when it comes to managing larger projects
Right, yeah.
that have all those multiple steps and deadlines.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole issue of information overload, which this article touches on.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we're constantly bombarded by emails, messages, notifications.
Absolutely.
Ugh, it's exhausting.
It is. It's a lot to deal with. That's where I think these tools can really be a game changer
Okay.
because they can help centralize all of that information into like a single manageable hub.
Okay.
So instead of feeling like you're drowning in all this data, you have a really clear,
Right.
user-friendly overview of what needs to be done.
So it's more than just a to-do list. It's
Mhm.
like creating a system for processing and prioritizing all of that incoming information.
Exactly. And with advancements in AI,
Right.
some tools can even analyze your tasks and suggest the best order to tackle them based on urgency deadlines.
Wow.
Some even group similar tasks together
Okay.
to streamline your workflow even further.
That's incredible. But I imagine those AI features would take some getting used to.
Yeah.
So how do you even start to choose the right tool with all of these different options?
Well, the article emphasizes the importance of personalization.
Okay.
Like there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
It really suggests taking time to consider your work style, your preferences, even your energy levels throughout the day.
So figure out if you're like a power through the to-do list first thing in the morning person or more of a creative burst in the evening.
Exactly. And they even give the example in the article of adapting your task management style to your energy levels.
Okay.
So if you know that you hit a slump in the afternoon, maybe you schedule your more demanding tasks for the morning
Right.
when you're feeling fresh.
That's a great point. I never even thought about integrating task management with my natural energy cycle. Yeah.
So it's not just about using the tools, but it's about developing those right habits
Yeah.
to make them really effective.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's about finding that system that works for you and then like consistently integrating it into your daily routine. The article even suggests experimenting with different approaches, see what sticks.
Okay.
You might find that like a visual system, like a Kanban board, helps you stay organized.
Right.
Or maybe you prefer a more linear approach with a prioritized to-do list.
I like that idea of experimenting.
Yeah.
Takes the pressure off trying to find that perfect solution right away.
Yeah.
But even with the right tools and the right habits, I still struggle with those moments when I have multiple projects happening at once.
Right.
And, each one seems to have its own massive to-do list, and I just feel completely scattered.
Yeah, that's a common challenge.
Yeah.
And the article offers a great strategy for tackling it.
Okay.
Just break down those massive to-do lists into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Okay.
So instead of staring at this mountain of tasks.
Right. You're creating a series of stepping stones,
I like that.
each one leading you closer to that ultimate goal.
So it's like turning a marathon into a series of sprints.
Exactly. And this also ties into the concept of prioritization, which is crucial for effective task management.
Okay.
By breaking down tasks and then categorizing them by importance,
Right.
you can ensure that you're focusing on the most crucial items first.
I've definitely fallen into the trap of trying to do everything at once.
Yeah.
Which never ends well.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, prioritization seems like a good way to avoid that overwhelm.
Absolutely. And remember, prioritizing isn't about doing everything perfectly.
Right.
It's about making those conscious decisions about what matters most at any given moment.
Okay.
And this leads to another key point that the article makes,
Okay.
the importance of flexibility.
You know, that really resonates with me because
Yeah.
I used to think I needed a super rigid schedule to stay on track.
Hmm.
But I found that even the best laid plans can get derailed.
Oh, for sure.
Life throws curveballs, priorities shift.
Right.
And sometimes you just need to adjust on the fly.
Exactly. The article cautions against those rigid schedules
Mm-hmm.
because they can lead to a lot of frustration and burnout when things inevitably change.
Yeah.
Instead, it advocates for a more adaptable approach.
So how do you actually put that flexibility into practice? It's
Yeah.
easy to say be adaptable,
Right.
but what does it actually look like in the context of task management?
Yeah, well, the article offers some practical tips.
Okay.
One suggestion is to regularly review and adjust your task list based on new developments.
So instead of setting a task list in stone, it's more about treating it as a living document
Yeah,
that evolves as things change.
exactly. It's about checking in with yourself and making sure your priorities are still aligned with your goals.
Okay.
Another tip is to be open to change.
Okay.
Sometimes tasks need to be reassigned, deadlines shifted, or entire projects put on hold.
Right.
That's where that ability to adapt becomes crucial. Instead of getting derailed by those changes, you're able to adjust your course and keep moving forward.
It's almost like having a mental agility routine for your to-do list.
I love that analogy. And to support that mental agility,
Okay.
the article highlights the importance of choosing technology that enables flexibility.
Okay.
Things like drag and drop functionality, mobile access, and cloud syncing
Mm-hmm.
that allow you to manage your tasks from anywhere
Right.
and easily adapt to those changes as they arise.
It's about finding tools that empower you to be flexible and responsive
Yeah,
rather than creating another rigid structure to adhere to.
precisely. And, if we connect this back to your overall well-being,
Mm-hmm.
embracing this flexibility and task management can actually reduce stress and promote that sense of resilience in all areas of your life.
It's almost like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
By becoming more adaptable in how you manage your tasks,
Mm-hmm.
you develop a greater capacity to handle change and uncertainty in general.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The article really underscores that connection between task management and overall well-being. It's not just about getting things done.
Right.
It's about finding a way to do them that supports your mental and emotional health.
This has been so insightful. We've covered a lot of ground, from the benefits of task management tools to the importance of information management, habit building, prioritization, and flexibility. Yeah, it really feels like we've gone beyond just the mechanics of like managing tasks and more into like a whole mindset shift.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. I think the article doesn't just offer a quick fix.
Right.
It really presents a framework for approaching work and life in a more mindful and intentional way.
And what stood out to me was that they really emphasize personalization.
Yeah.
Like there's no rigid formula for success.
Right.
It's about finding what works for you, your individual needs, and your own unique way of working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It encourages that experimentation, self-awareness, and willingness to adapt, recognizing that your task management system might evolve over time.
Right.
And that's okay.
That's so reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
Because it takes the pressure off trying to find the perfect solution right away.
Yeah.
It becomes more about the journey of discovering what works best for you.
Absolutely.
And you go.
And that brings us to a final thought-provoking question for you.
Okay.
What one small change could you make today to incorporate some of these task management principles into your life?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, it could be as simple as setting aside 10 minutes each morning just to kind of plan out your day.
Yeah.
Or finally trying out that new task management app you've been curious about.
Yeah, or even just deciding to break down one overwhelming task into smaller, more manageable steps.
Right.
The key is to start small and build that momentum.
Well, this deep dive has been incredibly insightful. I feel like we've uncovered so many practical tips and strategies for achieving clarity, reducing stress,
Yeah,
and ultimately just feeling more in control of our lives.
absolutely.
And you know what I really appreciate is that emphasis on personalization.
Yeah,
There's no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to task management.
for sure.
It's all about finding what works best for you, your unique needs and preferences.
Couldn't agree more.
So we encourage you to take these ideas, experiment with them, discover what works best for you. And remember, it's not about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time.